Jesus didn't have a problem with people that's in the streets. He had a problem with religious people.
How can I help anybody when when I was not even able to help my own son?
I would never do that. And I became that in a matter of minutes when they took my pain pills away.
And I said, I'm not where I want to be, but thank God I'm not what I used to be.
This is Faith in Your Recovery. I am Randy Davis. Welcome to the battle. Thanks again for joining with us here at Faith in Your Recovery. It's going to be a special day. A couple of new things going on. Number one, this is going to be our first video effort. We're going to see how that plays out. We know we'll need some tweaks, but you've got to start somewhere. And we're going to start today with our recovery rock star, Tyler Miller. Welcome, Tyler.
Hey, Randy, what's going on?
How are you, buddy?
Pretty good.
Good. You've been with us before about what?
About a year ago.
About a year ago. Yeah, okay. And you told us your story. This is our first follow-up story. We'll do more in the future, but once again, got to start somewhere, and I think it's a good place to do it. Tyler, why were you so anxious to do it again? Why were you so willing to come and share with us and tell us what else is going on?
Well, I mean, as being a recovered addict, I mean, that's part of it, is telling your story, and then, just keep living the life and, getting out there and being proud of it, that's part of it. And letting other people see that you're proud. It's just confidence, and that they could be that too, and that's just being an example. That's a big deal, know.
The rest of the world seeing you as a damning outer for such a long time. You want to prove to them there's something else within you as well.
I mean, I prove that to myself every day. But really now it's just about letting other people that are struggling, let them see, hey, this is what you could do. You can do this.
That's what we want, and that's why we're doing this
right.
program, okay?
Right.
And just so you know, folks, something else I'll go ahead and throw in there. I think I've mentioned it one other time, but here at A Better Life, Brianna's Hope, as a part of this effort with our Faith in Your Recovery podcast, we are in the process of doing a book. Yeah, that's right. The name of that book's going to be Recovery Conversations. It'll be a transcription of some of our best, most popular podcasts. We hope to have book number 1 completed by 9/11/23. Why 9/11? Well, historically speaking, it's another way of saying we do recover. We had some pain to recover from there. We suffered some great losses as a nation. Secondarily, but important to me, if I'm allowed to say that, it's my birthday as well. So that'd be a good birthday present. We want to break with that book. It'll have 8 or 9 chapters. We will keep you posted on how to get that. And I know that Tyler's going to be a part of that book, and so we're going to go ahead with his story. Tyler, let's go back before recovery. Tell the folks who didn't hear your first podcast, and you can go back in our archives, our episodes, and you can get all the details. But go ahead and fill them in for a few moments here. What life was like before recovery.
Oh, man. I was strung out real bad on meth. It went downhill real fast. I started as a weekend warrior, and I thought I could control it. Everybody was telling me that I couldn't, but, I knew better, right?
Sure.
And it went downhill real fast. I got sober for about a month, and then I relapsed, and that just, that makes you feel worse, when you knew you had it, and then, boom, you're right back into it.
At what age was that, Tyler, when you started using meth? Thereabouts.
Shoot. Let me think.
Give us
2 years sober, so I've been 30, 32, 31, 32. So that wasn't it wasn't that long ago, And
what age were you when you started using?
The first time I used, I was like 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were talking 10 or 12 years of usage, yeah?
Well, no, 10 or 12 years. I dabbled back then, and it was just like a fun time, whatever.
An occasional.
And then I had some trauma, and that You know, that attached with the meth, and you know, that it took hold.
And that's where that downhill slide
Yeah.
started that you mentioned
Yeah.
a moment ago.
I was probably sober nothing for about 10 years. Like, I didn't do anything, and it just took a trauma. It just took something serious in my life to happen, and I couldn't cope with it.
Would you
know?
go ahead and label that for the folks who don't know?
I went through a divorce. My biological family came back into my life. And then I went through a heartbreak after the divorce, and all that together, it just wasn't a good deal.
That puts you over the
Oh
edge.
man, that was not a good deal, all at one time,
Yeah.
you know? So that was just, yeah, it wasn't good. It ripped my mind apart, you know? And I turned to the wrong thing.
Tell the folks the losses you suffered during that time. Obviously, you've already mentioned the relationship,
Yeah.
but I'm going to guess there were a lot of other relationships that broke during that time.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that was going on, you know? Of course, my relationship with my kids wasn't as good.
How many kids?
I have four. I have 4 boys.
4 boys.
Yeah.
What are their ages today?
Today, 15, 14, 12, and 10.
Got to do the math, right?
Yeah.
I don't blame you, but if I had 4, I would as well. I can hardly remember my own age.
Right. So, you know, and at their ages then, you know, it was a little difficult, you know. I was married for 13 years, you know, and then all of a sudden mom and dad aren't together, you know, and then I was with another girl. Okay, so now we're dealing with that. And then all of a sudden dad starts getting strung out. So they're dealing with that. So that fractured that. I mean, it wasn't good, you know. And I just stayed away from a lot of people that were trying to help. I just wouldn't listen to them, you know.
I remember years ago, a group by the name of Pink Floyd had a song, Just Another Brick in the Wall. And you just kept putting the bricks in the wall, is what I'm hearing, making it thicker and thicker to get through to your friends and family.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you put the drugs on top of that, and finally the wall toppled.
Yeah, it wasn't a good thing. It was.
So you've been clean how long now?
It's 2 years, and I don't have the exact amount, but it's 2
2
years.
plus.
2 plus, yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's a good deal. Congratulations,
Thank you.
number one. Proud of you, and you should be proud of that and proud of yourself.
I am, man. It's a big deal, you know.
Tell the world, tell the folks out there who need some help and some hope and some promise there's something better. Tell them how the better has played out. Tell them how life is different now. What's it like when you wake up of a morning instead of thinking, how am I going to get that next hit? How am I going to get to that next, drug or whatever? What's it like now?
Well, I'll tell you what. You know, I wake up every morning and I work night shift, but anyway, I get up, I can do whatever I want, and I'm not thinking about that stuff. I'm getting ready for work. I'm watching TV. I've got my girlfriend. I'm going to a practice for one of my kids' sports, or going to one of their games, or like I was at my 8th graders' high school registration last night. Me and my ex-wife are good now.
So you get to be a dad.
I get to be a dad now, and I'm confident walking into places. Like before, you wouldn't be confident walking in all these places. I walk in there and I'm like almost like nothing ever happened.
You
now.
own it.
Yeah, and it's like nothing ever happened. It's my past now. Like I can just walk into these places and talk to anybody I want to, and I don't have a problem anymore. Like it's great. I've been at the same job for 2 years, and I'm doing well there. They trust me, and a lot of good things going on there. And like I said, it's just like nothing ever happened. It's just like it's gone.
So how is it in your head? Is it gone in your head? What are the temptations? What are possible triggers that at least take you to a spot to where you're not as good as you were? It may not take you to the drug, trigger you that far, but is there anything in your life that makes you go, oh man, just one time, if only, I wish?
Not really.
That's awesome.
Like, I decided I put it down. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore because I saw the damage that it was doing and where it was leading, and I don't need that stuff anymore. I don't care how bad it gets for me. I'm not going there.
How did you get over it? How did you get out of that darkness? How did you get to recovery? Obviously, your attitude was a big part of it, but yeah.
I mean, you know, I started going to the Brianna's Hopes meeting in Union City, and I've gone to, I think I've missed five meetings in 2 years.
That's pretty good batting average.
And, you know, every Sunday night, that's the only one I could go to because I work nights. And, you know, so every Sunday night I'm going there, and I just listened to what's going on there, and I started talking, and I started listening to them.
You got involved.
I got involved in it, and like, that's part of it. You have to be proactive in your sobriety. You can't just be sober. White knuckling, a lot of people do that, and that's where you're just clean, and you're not really doing anything else to help heal. You know, you're just sober, and you have to freaking be proactive in this stuff.
I like that term, proactive in your sobriety.
Yeah, you have
but
to
it's
be.
still yours.
Yeah.
And you've got to make it happen.
Yeah, nobody else is going to do it for you.
You're the one's got to put in the work and the effort.
You got to want it. You got to want it.
Yeah. Not only are you going to the A Better Life Brianna's Hope meetings, you're actually leading them now. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's a new thing, actually.
Tell everybody about that. Let them know what it's like to have been at the bottom, and because you're leading a meeting doesn't put you at the top, but it sure has moved you forward.
Right. You know, you just go from you're sitting at the table and you're listening to everybody now and stuff like that. Which you're still doing that, you know. And really, you're just up there. For me personally, I'm just the example. You know, just be the example. You know, that's how what a leader is. You know,
Be the example.
Be the example, man, and listen to other people. Throw your opinion out there, and if they're going to take it or not. You know, just show strength and stuff like that. But you got to listen to them talk, and you know, and what they're going through, and have sympathy and empathy. You know, because you've been there.
What's the advice that you give to those in your group? What if somebody came up to you and said, Tyler, how do I get to recovery like you are? Would you map them out, a journey they could take? Do you advise them on their journey and their choices? Of course, every story is different. Nobody got into it the same way. You're not going to get out of the same journey. So what kind of advice do you give?
I mean, you know, first off, you got to want it. And, you know, we do the people, places, and things. You know, you got to be serious about it. You can't be going around certain things. You can't be doing certain things, you know, because they could put you right back in. You got to be careful, you know, especially early in recovery. But then, you know, getting a job's a big thing because that keeps your mind occupied and stuff like that, and keeps you motivated, and kind of use your little victories. I got the job, okay. Be on time to your job, stuff like that. And those little victories right there build self-esteem, build confidence, and now your mind's occupied. Hey, guess what? I'm getting a little stronger. I'm moving a little bit better. You know, come to the meetings, do that kind of stuff, and that lets you get your voice because then you can talk. Where before you didn't want to talk about anything. So now your self-esteem and your confidence are going up, and you keep getting better. You keep getting better, and guess what? Sooner or later, that little voice in your head says, "Hey, go use that drug." It ain't there no more. You know,
you find that voice
and
gets
you gotta,
out of there.
It might be there every once in a while, but you got enough. You got enough to say,
well, you got enough tools in your box to shut it off at that point.
Yeah, I ain't worried about that guy, you know.
Yeah, that guy's not me here anymore.
Right, and that's just what it is, you know. And you just keep them, you know, and you always try to lift them up. If they did something good that week, you just tell them, "Hey, man, you're doing great. You're doing great.
We
You're doing
all
awesome."
want that, whether we've got an addiction issue or not.
Yeah.
We want to be confirmed and we want to be affirmed.
Right.
So what would you tell to parents who have a child, 20 years old, heavy into drugs of some type? What would you tell the parents?
And, you know, that's tough because you love the child and you want to see the best for them, and it's hard because you don't want to see them in that, but you got to realize that until they want it, there's nothing you can do. But you always keep hope, and you're always there for when they want the right kind of help.
You're there with what is the right kind of help? What do you mean
When they
by
really
that?
want to get sober, when they want to make a change.
And you want to make sure that you're not enabling.
Enabling, that's a big
such
deal, yeah.
Fine line.
And knowing the difference between the two is hard. I mean, because
So does that mean it's okay to let your son or daughter sleep on the street that night because you're scared of what's going to happen with the money you give them?
that's a hard choice to make because, you know, in a way they're making a choice. It's their life, you know, and that's the hard choice to make. You know, some people can and some people can't make. Some get tough love. Now you're not going to be here, none of this stuff. And then some people can't. It just depends on the situation and who you are and, you know.
We're back to that individual story. again,
Everybody's
aren't we?
different, you know, how things affect them. So it's just,
And relationally,
it's-
everything's different.
relationally, everything. It's just, that's a tough thing to say, you know. I mean, I deal with it too. I got a mother in jail right now. My brother's in jail right now. Mom's in there for probation violation. You know, she keeps doing it. This has been a reoccurring theme in her life, you know, and I kind of got to keep her at arm's length, you know. I want that relationship, but, you know, I don't want to be around that stuff.
You can't step across a certain line
Yeah,
for your
because-
own safety and health.
Well, I mean, I stand for something different, you know. And what would that say? If I'm willing to just, you know, that's my line, you know.
Yeah.
And it's what I believe in. You know, I still love her to death, but I can't be involved in certain things.
So you've got to see certain efforts from her before you're ready to invest
Yeah,
whole hog in the effort.
right. My brother's the same way. It's in prison. He'll be in prison till June 2024. And it's the same way when he gets out. You know.
What's he in for?
Well, yeah, he's in for violence.
Okay.
but he's a drug addict.
I was going to ask, is any of that drug related?
You know, and I can't be around him because, you know, he was one of the ones one of my first used with. And so it's just like, I have to draw that line. Hey, if you're going to be on this stuff, you ain't coming to my house. You ain't doing this. You ain't doing that. If you're clean and you're wanting to make a change, I'll help you all I can.
You're back to those people, places, and things
Mhm.
again. You've just been putting titles to them here.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you for that. What got you there will never get you out of there, will it? If you were tied up with this and that was part of your downfall, going back to that is not going to lift you up. And you've got to, you know, step a different
You got to make a
direction.
change. Like I said, be proactive. You have to do something different. I mean, you can't expect doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's what they call insanity, right?
That's the way the story goes.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, there won't be any change in the end.
Hey, I still have friends that are in it. I still know people and this and that. I mean, I know a lot of things.
You just
I just don't.
spend the same time
I
with
don't.
them, do you?
No.
Or you don't participate in the same type
No.
of event.
And there's places I don't go. You know, like I don't want to go there because I know what's there. Like I'm just not doing it. You know, you get that feeling when you go there, man, I don't want to be here. Yeah, where before it's like, man, I'm going to this guy's house. Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to be here. It has to be some serious reason I'll ever be there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. So, as far as what is the next recovery goal in your life?
I don't know.
Tomorrow?
I mean, yeah, I mean, just live. That's it for me. I mean, like
Used to you existed,
Yeah.
but now you want to live.
I'm just,
You're getting to do that. I saw the
Yeah.
change in your countenance a little bit ago when you started talking about things you get to do with your
yeah.
kids. And
I mean, that's just it. I'm just doing stuff. Like I'm just live for today. You know, keep going. Like and just enjoy it.
you're a good
I'm there.
You're a good reminder to us who just kind of take it for granted. now you're getting to do it. And
Yeah.
it shows the freshness and the joy it can bring, and that we should all have.
And it's pretty cool. Like, you know, my oldest son,
He's how old now?
he's 15,
Okay.
and I got to go to his band concert. He plays all kinds of musical instruments, and I got to go to that. And I was the first one. He got his learner's permit, and I was the first one to have him in a car driving. I was a little, but you know, but you know, yeah, but you know, and I'm at my boys' high school registration. The next, you know, and I've been able to go to their basketball games and stuff, and it's just being involved with the kids, and it's different now.
What would they say if I asked them about their dad, who he is today? How do you think they'd respond to that? I've got an idea, but you tell us.
Well, they're teenagers, so you know how that goes.
That depends on the day.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're right.
After a good day, okay?
Yeah.
And I asked them that question. What kind of a response would I get?
I mean, you know, I don't know. You know, I mean,
You think overall
I think I'm all right. You know.
All right. That's
We'll go with all right.
I dig that. I get it. Yes. That says a lot right there. Yeah. So what is it you want your kids to learn from your experiences?
You know, never stay down. That's the biggest thing. You know, just things happen in life, you know, and reach out for help if you need it, you know, and don't take the wrong path.
The bravest thing you can do many times is ask for help.
Yeah, and it's not wrong to ask for help. You know, sometimes you got to swallow your pride a little bit.
That's okay too.
It's okay.
Isn't it?
You know, it's definitely
it goes
okay.
down.
But before you go down that path, the path that, you know, leads to the bottom, reach out for help. You know, it's always going to be there.
There's somebody out there,
Yeah.
whether it's a family member, a neighbor, a pastor, a teacher, your coach. Man, I can still reflect back on words that my coaches had to say, words of encouragement that impacted my life.
Right.
And neighbors and others as well. Certainly mom and dad, but it's not the same when it comes from them versus somebody else,
Right.
all right?
And the other big thing would be like to open your mind, you know, because a lot of us, we get stuck in our own ways and this and that, and we're not really we're not open to anything or like a new way to get to somewhere, you know, and open your mind and really just take in everything, you know, and be your own person. You know, and there's multiple ways to get one thing done, you know, and you know, do that, you know, don't just go this way. There's multiple ways to get there.
You don't have to follow someone else's
No,
journey. Go out on your own. Be an explorer.
Be your own person.
Yeah. Be real.
Yeah.
Be genuine.
Yeah.
Genuine in who you are.
And that's what I do. I mean, that's what I am in my life. Everybody I know knows that. They just know that's who I am. Like, I don't keep my mouth shut. You know, I'm not gonna. I don't sugarcoat anything ever. You know, it's just how I am. Like, and I think that's the only way to be. I think like our country nowadays, a lot of that's gone. You can't be real anymore because stuff's going on. And
you're gonna hurt somebody else's
feelings.
feelings.
You know, hurt somebody
you
else's
have to
feelings.
Stuff
and,
your own
yeah.
in order to keep from hurting
Yeah.
someone else's.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. You know, but
They can deal with you, or they can deal without you.
Exactly.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not all bad for sure.
Well, I mean, when I was in addiction, a lot of that was part of wanting to be accepted. So now you're doing that kind of stuff. Well, I don't care if I'm accepted or not. You know, now I don't care if I'm accepted or not. So somebody offers me this stuff, well, just because I want to be your friend, I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Or I might just not be your friend.
Acceptance can become an addiction as well.
Exactly. It can
Not
be.
as dangerous necessarily as the drug
Right.
or as harmful to your health, but it can certainly mess with your mind.
Yes, it can.
If you've got to think, well, are they going to like me or not when I do what I'm going to do? That's not what life's about.
No.
We don't intentionally strike out, but we don't have to. We don't have to change totally who we are in order to live life, and we need that flower garden full of different kind of flowers and colors and styles and ways, and I appreciate that.
And well, and then another thing is, when you talk about change, we don't have to change who we are, but we have to be able to change when certain things pop up in our life, so that it doesn't throw us for a complete loop. You know, we have to be able to take it on.
Got to adjust.
And adjust. That's a good word. I like that word. We have to be able to adjust to situations and cope. Like, that's your coping mechanisms right there. You know, and once we do that, man, we've got it. You know, you got it. And you can just live life. That's just why I just live life, man. I don't let too many things get me down too much. And I just keep moving forward.
It sounds like you're doing that in a way that you're meeting responsibilities. And, yeah. Do you have someone that you hold yourself accountable to at this time? I'm going to guess probably Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin.
There with
he's my guy. You know,
tell the folks who Kevin is.
Kevin Lawrence. He's man. I'd call him like my sponsor. I would say like a mentor. That's what I would call him. I've known Kevin for a long time. He's there at the Brianna's Hope meetings in Union City. He's the one that turned the leadership over to me, you know, and he was the first guy to really get a hold of me, you know, and he's a really good guy as a coach, you know, and that's where I met him. I met him as wrestling coach for my sons, you know. And
this is at Union City High School in Union City, Indiana, just on the Ohio state line, literally. The state line divides the town geographically.
Right.
Yeah. I remember you telling a story during your last interview of Kevin reaching into his pocket.
Yeah.
Tell the folks that story.
So he reached, I was white knuckling at the time, and he reached into his pocket and he said, "You can have anything you want. Anything in my pocket," you know. And, you know, I didn't have a car at the time. I didn't have a job at the time. Didn't have no money. Didn't have anything really, you know. And I told him cocaine, you know, like, because that would have been better than meth, I guess. I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
But and I told him that, and then later he left, you know, and later on, light bulb went off. I'm like, man. He got me, because I was arguing with him back and forth, you know, because I'm stubborn, you know, and he's not gonna let it go, and he got me right there. That flipped it, and next meeting I was there.
Yeah,
you know, and that's where it started.
All right, let's say Kevin was here at the table with us, and he reached into his pocket. What would you want it to be today?
Hell, man, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a question.
That's a question. Yeah, because I don't know, like $1 million. I don't know.
That's a good place to start.
I mean, that's better than what I said the last time, right?
Absolutely.
I have no idea.
Properly,
I'm pretty happy with what I have. I'm like, Kevin, keep it. You know.
That's the best answer you could give.
I mean, that's what I'd have to say, I think.
Well, that's a good place to be.
Yeah, it is. I'm pretty happy with everything.
We've all got some wants and wishes, a nice home on the Florida beach or something, but we don't. If we've got to have that to be happy, we're in trouble.
Yeah, we're in trouble. Yeah.
And I can assure you, folks, there's nothing wrong with the community. I've got some dear friends in Union City. It is not a sandy beach next to the waters, okay? It's not the vacation mecca of Indiana. It's a great place to be. Like I said, wonderful people, but there are reasons you could want to be elsewhere. Yeah. Well, we're certainly thankful to Better Life Brianna's Hope that you've taken on the leadership there. And we hope that you'll be able to grow with that as much as the folks that you're reaching out to. We believe in what's happening there. And we believe in your story and where you're at. And this is a good witness and testimony. Addicts do recover.
Yeah.
Addicts do change. We can be different. And that's what Tyler's talked about here today. Tyler, any closing thoughts you want to share with folks as we get ready to sign off here?
Well, for anybody that thinks they can't do it, we can. Like, we can do it. You just gotta, reach out for help. It's there for you. There's hope for anybody that has maybe a relative or a friend or somebody that's stuck in it. There's hope. It can happen. Don't give up on them.
There's hope. It can happen.
It can happen. It might take a while. Maybe it might.
Well, they've probably been in the darkness for a while. So what's a couple of years moving toward the light versus digging deeper into a hole?
And just hope, faith. I mean, that's what it is, and don't give up.
Well, that ties in with what I like to close with many times, the name of our podcast, Faith in Your Recovery. What's faith mean to you? Or what does faith in your recovery mean? Let me rephrase that.
Faith in my recovery. Oh, man, I know what faith is. Faith is, believing in something you don't see. You don't know, and, I mean, I didn't know if I was going to be able to stay sober. I didn't know that. And, but I just kept hoping. Hope and faith always go together. They always go together, I think. And that was the only thing I had left to hold on to, that there would be a better day.
I've heard it said when faith is all you have, faith is all you need, okay? And that has obviously helped you get to this point of healing and help and recovery today.
Right.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
I just thank you guys for having me back again. It's one of the coolest things I've ever done, I think.
Why? How? Explain that.
I mean, I don't know.
Just the idea of getting to share your story.
And just being on the radio. I mean, that's kind of cool. It's always been cool to me. It's just one of those things. I just really like it. I like to talk to somebody else and have them ask me, and I just like the whole thing. I like to communicate. So it's really cool.
Awesome.
Like when I said, man, I want to do that again.
Yeah,
I tell all my friends, this is the coolest thing you ever do.
You jumped on me as fast as anyone ever has.
Yeah, I want to come back and do that.
Yeah.
It's nerve-wracking, but, man, it's cool.
Thank you. Folks, please understand, we here at the Faith in Your Recovery podcast, we'd appreciate get a hold of us by email, podcast@ablbh.org. And if you would like to be an interviewee, we'd like to hear from you. You get a hold of us. We'll get back to you. We'll see what we can work out. Our website is ablbh.org. Thanks once again for joining us on Faith in Your Recovery. Stay in the battle. Keep fighting. Keep the hope. Keep the faith. God bless. Amen.